Repair shop sign in front of the shop. It's been there for many years. And this is the road that comes down towards Kenny's.
I got to go through this all with my sister Karen. She's coming out.
And this is the shop.
What a furniture she wants.
View from the outside to the front of the drive.
Very special view. The old electronic stuff.
There's the old house that Kenny stayed in next to the shop. And the solar panels that he built. This is the old shop and the TV shop over here on this end. This is the north end. And in front is a steam engine that they built up. And then this is the original shop building, the front section. There's a lot more behind. And that's Keith talking with a couple of fellas now. And this is the front entrance to Kenny's shop. It's deteriorating quite a bit at this point. The roof fell in here where he had solar panels. And this is the garage part on the back. This is the first complex, the main complex of Kenny Nightenhauser's shop. And this is the Dinosaur that they built. He built out of car parts. The head is 2 oil pans inverted. And push rods, rod caps make the neck with the tubing. And the backbone is all made from various size rod caps. The ribs are springs, and the under part legs are front end assemblies on automobiles. And this is a Dinosaur that they welded up, him and one other fella, and made. And it's pretty good size. To illustrate its size, we'll not change the direction or the size of the camera and show this tractor trailer sitting here. So it's a good 20 feet long. This is a steam engine which he and another fellow built up. The names are somewhere on the steam engine. I'll try to find them. And it was just made for looks, I believe. Here you can see a close-up view of the steam engine and its construction. And this is the side next to the building and the front of the steam engine. And the names are on the engine, but I don't know whether we can make them out or not. We'll try. And that was built by these people in Kenny. This was the entrance to the old television shop. A lot of people will remember that. They came here many times to deliver television sets, and Kenny would fix them for them. And this was the general shop with an old truck and car in front. Pardon me. And the edge of the house next to this was used as a display for new television sets. This is a view of the covered bridge that Kenny built over a small stream on his property. This little building was built specifically to cross the creek onto the wooded land beyond, which also belonged to Kenny and went down to the road. You can see the small stream that goes underneath the little covered bridge. It's a regular covered bridge built by Kenny Nightenhauser. We're now walking along the side of the shop towards the back. So it'll be a little rough for the picture here, mainly because there's high weeds. And here was the windmill. This is the windmill. At one time this was 40 feet across with its blades. Kenny built this windmill to supply power. And as you can see, the sign on the front says the Baker's Corner Power and Light. He was always joking, of course. And this is the back of the shop, which was fenced in and shows the entrance to the other building where all of his construction stuff was. Many of these buildings housed a great many parts, tractors, mowers, things which he needed to take care of the supplies here. And this is the shop, back side. And the old entrance inside the shop from the back was right here. Many times I went in this way when Kenny invited me out and was asleep. This is a complete back view of the shop. There's several items all stacked around the outside of the building. Old tractors, old cars, old tires, many items outside. A line of cars down the whole back of the shop. Kenny was a collector. Many things were stored in the cars. As you can see through these windows, he had many items stored in the seats of the cars. They were not empty. There's another view of the back of the shop where many items were stored. And old tires, metal, etc. Some items probably worth something to someone. Many here. On the south side of the shop was this solar section where he'd glassed in a section, and the trailer sits in front of it now. This is what he used to help heat the building and to grow things in. and it worked in the winter as well as the summer. It too is falling down now, but it served its purpose while Kenny was here. Now we're back out towards the front of the garage, and you've now went completely around Kenny Nightingale's shop. Now this is a view of the garage and the garage doors of Kenny's shop just before we get around to the front entrance again. And you can see more of the solar panels that Kenny installed. The many experiments he went through out here. And here's Keith and some gentlemen discussing things in the shop.
I'm going to call around. There was a guy that was interested in it years ago. Well, according to Steve Woolridge, the labor in welding it up would be about 500.
Probably would.
Apart from the parts.
What's this? The Dinosaur? Yeah.
The meat's all gone though.
Yeah. This is just inside the front door, part of the solar collection system, the old fish tank. Kenny had stuff everywhere. As you can see, he didn't move a thing. And then the little section of the foyer where I was just standing is full of stuff. Yes. Historic site. I don't know what that was. On May 18th, 1768, this was declared the first condemned building in North America. Oh, mercy. Anyway, we'll go further into the shop. This is the general office part of the old building that Kenny usually sat at, made his phone calls, kept his papers, which you can see everywhere. And this was his desk. And this was where everything was kept. And you can see out on the sidewalls all the pictures, papers, old telephone. Use it up, wear it out, make it do, or do without. And there was everything from old cameras, many antiques. On the walls, books of all types. Kenny never threw anything out. He collected everything. Pictures from the past. Yeah, this is the main office, you might say, of Kenny's shop. Then we'll move into the other section.
Let me turn the light on here.
Okay. Keith's gonna turn on some lights. This was a safe that Kenny had brought in. It was a large safe. I don't know where he got it. But I remember one of the doors fell off one time and they had a heck of a time getting it back on.
Yep. It's just cast iron and it's welded back.
Yep.
Welded back. Which experts say is dangerous.
Yes, I imagine it is.
So if you open this door, be careful it doesn't fall on you.
Yes. Keith narrating the safe. Now I'll let him go ahead and narrate what else is in this room.
Well, let's see. This area, Ken had genealogical stuff. It sort of went with the safe because he had old family papers in there. But then it sort of got covered up with art books and magazines. And kind of hard to tell what it was originally. He sure built an awful lot of workbenches like this with shelves and a bench below. There's probably 6 or 7 of these things, just like this, scattered all over the place. They're pretty handy, but they're awful hard to get out the door. They were built to go in here. And all the benches in here, I guess, are new or rebuilt from the old shop, because we used to have 3 rows of benches in here, and now there's only 2. And they aren't continuous like they were when this was the old TV shop. Something that I need to find is in the floor here somewhere. There's a wooden plate over a drain opening. I need to find that to set a dehumidifier over, but it's all covered by carpet now, so
yep.
It's going to be a job to find it. I guess something else he did when he converted this from being the old TV shop in the early 1970s was to build in these sets of shelves like this. This all held up pretty well in here. If you look around, you'll see the roof's never leaked in here. So there's no discoloration, and it's not all got all messed up like a lot of the spots. I guess it has leaked around the chimney there, but mostly it hasn't. And this little room's the library, and it's just jammed full of periodicals and books and all kinds of miscellaneous papers. All these darn folders, every one of them labeled. Here's plans for a knick-knack. Here's something on Whack Industries. Here's something on the Appalachian Trail. And it goes on and on and on. I don't know what to do with all these papers. It's really sort of a pamphlet collection.
Yes, it's kind of museum quality. Really needs to be all sorted through by somebody.
Museum, maybe.
Yeah.
These shelves were built to fit right in here. I don't know if you could get them out of the building. It's 2 bookshelves fit together with a connector here, tie them together. These shelves would be handy in another location for somebody, but I don't know if you'd ever get them out of this room. I'll turn the end of the wall out.
Yeah. A lot of pictures, books.
Right. Magazines stuck back under the benches, against the walls. And this building is actually insulated. You can see all these little plugs where the insulation was blown in. The shop used to stop right here, and in the late 60s, early 70s, we were busy enough that we needed more storage room for TVs. So we built this building on just to be storage. And it had benches in it to store TVs in. And then there's a door down at the south end that's big enough to bring a TV out. I guess the next thing to do would be to go out to the west building, and then we'll come back through these back rooms. We'll come back to there.
And we're moving into another section now.
Yeah, this is one of Ken's painting rooms.
Let's get both these. Let me get both these first.
Alrighty.
I remember this room in here because of the safe he had trouble with.
This is the room where he busted the safe. Trying to open it. This is the old bench room. It's had terrible roof problems since he built on a building between this building and the next one. This roof hadn't kept the water out worth a damn. Skylight also contributed to that. Well, this building used to always be real tight, but then he added that other building on, and it turned out to be a disaster for keeping this building's roof on. So there's a lot of water get in here. It's got a lot of old electronic equipment.
Yeah.
Who'd ever want it?
I'd reckon a lot of old equipment.
Yeah.
The room is packed. And you don't even know what it is.
It's hard to say what a lot of it is. There are some things in here, though, some little things hidden away that a fellow might want to keep, like these set of drawers here. There used to be a bunch of punches that are fairly handy to have when you want to make a round hole in a piece of sheet metal. Things like that.
That was the old safe
right
right there he busted. Tried to get into, yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, and here's one of those tool caddies. I wonder where the other one of them went. Just going to clean these up.
Yeah, little tool
These are
caddy.
still kind of usable. Put
Yep.
this back in. There it goes.
Okay, I'll be in the next
Go on to the
room.
west building, I'll catch up.
Alright. There is a scintillation counter, or whatever they call it. Scintillation. Yeah, Geiger counter. The paint shop. This is the paint shop. Yeah. My goodness.
We're all ready for an invasion.
I think
We're
so.
all stocked up. We got our Geiger counter and everything.
Yeah, this is where he done his paintings then.
Yep, made art in here.
He made his art
We've
here.
got skylight here, so he's got good light for it.
Yeah. Now what's this painting here?
That's something that somebody else did. I think that's just some kind of reproduction. I don't know,
Okay.
really. I don't think that's something he did. He didn't paint representation of it.
I'm sure that a lot of people would like to know about this. If we could get a hold of the right people who would like to, you know. God bless our leader on a bedpan.
Makes a certain point. It's something that's perennially appropriate too.
Yeah.
No matter who's a leader.
Yeah, Kenny was quite the kidder, wasn't he? Yeah, and then some of his own works right there too. He started doing abstract and a variety of things. He got into everything. Okay.
The room this room that we've been filming used to be the garage. It had a garage door in here, and then he built on the west building, and he built this lean-to to connect them, which didn't have any place for its roof to drain. So this room has a lot of roof problems.
Yeah,
It's got
leaks.
more art stuff in it, like a kiln and this work area under this big skylight. It's got things that Ken made, like this harmonograph, which actually works pretty well.
Harmonograph?
Yeah, it's for making, it's like a Rose engine except it uses swinging weights.
Oh, yeah.
And you release the pin like that and it draws things.
Draws things automatically for you.
Yeah.
Huh.
It actually works though. That's
Yeah, well,
the fact that it works.
most of the stuff he built, you know, actually worked.
Yeah, that's true. There's old picture frames. Here's an old part of a coil winding apparatus, I assume. So
Yeah.
hold the reel of wire while it got spun onto a coil. There's great-grandpa's old tombstone, the one that broke. Henry Knutson-Holzer.
And let me see.
Sitting up for years. He's
Where's-
sitting down here with the hand pointing towards heaven.
Yeah, I see it.
Going home, it says.
Looks like the plants have about had it.
Yeah, the plants didn't get watered some when they should have, I reckon. They about had it. Now, there's a little known secret passageway down this direction we need to go through, James.
Oh, yeah?
Oh yeah.
I've never been down that one.
Yeah, then you're into the store for a treat. This is one of those areas that never should have been roofed over. This is where the big west building joins this
Oh,
back
I
of the old
see.
shop to make the roof leak. These old bins here used to be in the pump room. They managed to move them all the way here, and they're full of every kind of plumbing and electronic item you can imagine.
Oh,
You know.
yeah, see if I can show some of this stuff. It's full of pipe fittings,
or something like an illumination control switch out of an aircraft or something.
Yeah.
Mini pole, mini throw switch. Like this.
Yeah.
What the devil is this?
He accumulated about everything, it looks like.
He accumulated too much. Accumulated too much. And a whole lot of old parts for doors and cabinets here, and wall plates for electrical outlets, as well as his plumbing stuff, and pieces of conduit, electrical conduit, antennas. Here's a nice shop apron. I reckon that's good for something.
Yeah, that's a shop apron.
And the reason there's a rubber one here, be careful, there's a sort of press in there, you got to walk through it.
Oh, I see it.
Because we're heading towards the battery room.
The battery room.
So you got to have that rubber apron if you're going to work in the battery room. He built this to have a place for his storage batteries for his electrical generation system, I think.
This was the battery room.
He somehow managed to obtain a whole lot of old Edison cells.
Those are railroad
railroad.
cells. Yep.
And now they sit here and amount to a great quantity of hazardous waste, I assume.
Yes, I assume. Let me get over here with you so I can get a broad shot of
Nice
this.
little room in some ways. Floored with brick.
Edison style batteries from the railroad.
I don't know what the hell he's got. He's got an old Ringer washer, rusted to pieces here. I don't know what the heck is back behind these. Oh, what is under there? Is that another washer? Something like another washer. Not sure.
I believe this was the control room for the generating plant. Yeah.
Yes, sir. We got to have a control room. We're going to have a generating plant.
Right.
Damn right. Old
Yeah.
stereo console.
I'd been in here, but I'd never been in the
Right,
little
you probably
area.
came through this door.
Yeah. Which way you want to go?
I think
Back?
you better go back the way we came.
Okay. We're going back out the way we came. This was the parts storage bins. Blackboards, regular slate blackboards.
The floor here, these old rubber mats, are the rubber mats that were on the floor in the shop.
Oh yeah?
My God, these are slate.
Yeah, those are slate blackboards.
Wow,
Yep.
they're pretty good size.
Yeah, that would give you a nice blackboard, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, this is the room where the plants were.
Yeah, one of them. He's got all these racks here that he made to hold flats, and then he'd like make things and then lose interest in using them. It's a pretty common pattern for him.
Well,
He got them made.
he moved from one thing to another, you know.
Yep. This is the carpenter shop in the west building here, but it's all piled full of junk, so you can hardly see underneath if there ever was any place to work. He's got his old paintings here.
Yep.
Lots of carpenter's tools, both hand and power tools.
More abstract work was going on, I can see.
Yeah, those are paintings he did in the 60s. Those are really early, when he was painting in the basement.
Oh yeah?
He painted them for a while and lost interest in it. Came back to it 20 years later or so.
Huh.
This one painting someone wanted. I forget who. It might be Woolridge wanted this
That one?
here. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he stacked everything too.
Yeah. Some of the stuff
Yeah.
was worth saving and some of it weren't, I think. But anyway, you never know when to save it.
Now this is the carpentry shop.
Yeah. This refrigerator has a bunch of cutting tools in it. It's supposedly going to keep them from getting all rusty being in there. I don't know if it works or not. I think somebody may have walked off with some of our pipe clamps. We used to have a bunch more of them, and I only see like 5. We used to have 3 or 4 more on long sections of pipe. They may be laying here somewhere though. Hard to know what happened to all this stuff that's here. When Ken had employees, things were kept pretty orderly. Because I know, because I was one of them. Things would get put away and cleaned up and stored somewhere so he'd have some space to work.
How many employees did he have?
Over the years, who knows?
Yeah.
As many as 7 or so at one time.
7 or so employees at one
Probably
time.
had a total of 30 or 40 people that worked here on it. one time or another. This is the plumbing bench area. There's lots of pipe fittings around there, and there's also a bunch of them in here.
Yeah. He had a section for everything, didn't he?
Yeah, that was an idea.
Yeah, that way you know where everything is, you know. Let me see. Yeah, his system apparently is working. It's keeping things from rusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's all these drills and sanders and saws and stuff.
Yeah. The way it's supposed to work is you're supposed to have a light bulb in there on a thermostat to warm it up. But make it dry out.
Yeah.
And that hadn't been going for a long while, I don't think.
I don't know what this looks like. More painting there. Is this more paintings? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, more of his paintings.
Put into a big
Frame.
frame.
There's one here I want to get. Yeah. These are all kind of abstract like paintings
Here, you can get a better shot of this
made
one now.
by Kenny. Yeah.
Leaning up against the old kitchen cabinets from Grandma's back porch.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are regular old antique cabinets.
Yeah. They're the real antique. They haven't been restored. They still have Grandma's white enamel on them.
Well, I imagine that antique guy that was just here, what's his name?
Pedigo.
Pedigo would probably be interested in
Yeah,
that.
this would be the kind of thing he could sell.
Right. That's why I said that you need to keep with him on
Yep, I agree.
some of that stuff.
I agree. Here's the old, I think it's a 15 kVA motor generator, flathead Ford. It still works. My father knew how to make it work. There's some trick to starting it, I remember. You gotta start it in stages to make the oil pump run before you start the engine.
I remember him saying something about that.
I don't remember the ins and outs of it. I'm not about to try to start it. I think we'd find some.
No, I don't think we want.
Such old Ford equipment.
I don't think we want to try to. That's an old flathead engine.
Yep.
I used to have one of those in my 40 Ford coupe.
And here to the right of it, we have another accident waiting to happen. This little jet engine.
Yeah, that was his jet pump.
I just as soon have somebody like Dunder find a way to get rid of it.
Yeah.
I've got here an old wheel horse. There's a
Yeah.
guy in the trader who buys old wheel horses, so I think I might call him up about that.
You also got a frame of one out back.
You do? I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know that.
Yeah, I seen it back there just a while ago when I was filming.
Is that the thing that's sitting on top of the,
It's behind all that sheet of metal,
huh?
rusty sheets of metal.
Show me where it is. I didn't know we had it.
Yeah. So if he's coming down to get this one off of you, you may want to.
I assume this engine is something of Dunder's, sitting on this engine frame. I don't think it's anything of Ken's, but I might be wrong.
I don't know what that engine is.
And I don't know what the devil this thing is here, really. Here we have the top part of a homemade toolbox. It looks like might have gone on a truck or something.
Probably.
This thing looks like maybe it was a kiln.
I believe it is. That's probably his kiln. Yeah. Yeah.
Big.
Did he do ceramics? I know he done.
Yeah, we did ceramics there once upon a time. Big old thing. Who knows if it works?
There's an old school desk.
Here we have an old farm type electrical distribution system. He loved to make these things. These are all over the place.
Yeah. Well, also over here you have a forge.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's a blower and a firebox.
Yep. There's a forge over there. Yeah.
A lot of stuff that-
Now this car.
It's a 67 Dodge Coronet. It's in mint condition.
Okay, this.
Yesterday I charged or maybe destroyed the battery. I had it put it on this damn charger. It was such a fast charger. It made the battery boil after it had been on for like 4 hours. After the battery's charged up,
No, it's charged up all right. Yeah.
it started the last time I tried it last fall. You see it's in really nice condition.
Yeah, it is.
It's sort of unusual. It's navy blue.
I had talked to a woman that my daughter knows in Indianapolis that collects rare old cars,
Oh yeah?
and she was interested.
Well, good. Let me know what her name is. She's going to have a look at it sometime.
Well, we were going to do that when Kenny was here, but
Yeah.
never could get together, so now me and you will have to get together with her,
That'd be fine.
and she might buy it.
Well, we could I just as soon give it to somebody who'd appreciate it, because none of us, especially an old car fancier.
Yeah, she is, see?
Yeah. Well, this would be a nice car, I think, to take around the show.
Yeah.
It's unusual. Most people don't collect these.
She does
It's also humongous. Look how
yeah,
big it is.
it's big.
This is the kind of trunk they had in yesteryear. I was talking to Gene Wan this morning, and I said to him, maybe he was in one of these pictures I have here of my father's brother Edward and him.
Yeah.
These are pictures from the late 30s. And he couldn't remember if he ever had a picture taken with Edward. Then he said, maybe one time we went to the Shades and camped out. We had a picture taken together. And when they went to the Shades, he said, the two of them slept in the trunk of the Plymouth that Edward was driving. That's when trunks were like this.
Yes, big enough.
Now, let me figure out, do I know how to turn the lights in this room?
Yeah.
That's the blower, that's not the lights. I maybe don't know how to turn all that.
There's his acetylene outfit.
Yeah, that's the welding room. We used to have a little wire feed welder in here. That was a good one, right? We had good stuff. I don't know where the hell I
And the arc welder.
Lots of grinders.
Yeah.
There's a piece of equipment here, I don't know what it is. This is an old washing rig.
That's a washing thing. I don't know where his light is for this. Well, here,
What?
what? You say this is a...
That's a blower.
This is?
Her flipper on, yeah. There's an
Okay.
exhaust fan up there. There you go. That's a switch. Look, there was an outlet. There you go.
Okay.
Here we have the Welding Rod Department.
Yeah, kept in the refrigerator.
Yeah. Lots of old pieces of scrap to weld. That's one thing I wish I'd learned to do, but I never did, is weld.
Yeah, there's that little cutoff saw I was telling you about.
Yeah.
That's just for cutting metal, but that's what it's for.
Here we have a piece of equipment that I do not know what it is. Kind of hard to see, you too. Maybe you know what the hell this thing is. Maybe if I turn it out, it'll become more obvious.
It might have a name on it.
Yeah.
It looks like
Okay.
something.
Vandercook printing equipment.
Oh, that's some kind of a printer, probably for blueprints and such.
Yeah, it might be right. It's got some awful big gears in it.
Yeah, the workbench and the drill press.
A whole lot of old motors and pulleys under there, old generators and alternators and starters, looks like.
Yeah.
Maybe vacuum.
He came over and got a bunch of stuff from me that's probably out here.
Yeah, I don't know why he kept collecting some of this stuff.
I don't either. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff here that's... yeah.
Too much. Is this drill for some special purpose, do you think?
That goes with the drill press.
I see. This is the whole part.
That's the whole parts while you drill, yeah.
Huh.
In other words, well, you can use slot bolts. No, it sets up on top and use slot bolts to hold this while you're drilling something so it don't get away from you.
I got you, Will.
That's what that is.
Huh. I see.
That's the way it works.
Better leave her sit there, because I don't know what half this stuff is. Be good if I leave her sit. What was this frame for, do you think?
Okay, that's a press. That was a press.
But the cylinder isn't in it.
The cylinder, I think, is laying down there on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, apparently it was a press that got broke from the shape of that top.
Yeah, somebody had pressed too much with it.
Yeah.
But see the cylinder laying down there?
So this was like to press bearings in and out?
That's right, that's right. Yeah, that's what it is. That's a bearing press, a big one. It should press an enormous amount. It looks like about 20 ton.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, this is the block and tackle.
Yeah.
Or this is, yeah, and then a beam to go across it.
Good old homemade.
But it worked.
And your hoist.
Yeah. Toolboxes. This is the garage section.
Yeah.
And this is where he done most all the work on the cars.
Right, we did lots of work on cars here through the years. There's lots of detritus from it too.
I believe that's a pressure washer.
Yeah, that's the one. That's actually the very one that we used to use when we were in the stripping business.
Yeah.
600 psi washer.
Yep. This is the garage section. Loaded. And outside of here,
The greenhouse solar collector, which is falling apart.
Yeah.
It's deteriorating.
let's just see if I can get a picture through the door. This is since the window's gone. There's my old furnace I had in the garage.
Is that one of your old furnaces?
Yep. That was the old oil furnace I gave him out of the garage, a Bryant, I think.
Yeah, we got quite a collection of old furnaces here. Does Vern take them, do you think?
Yeah, he probably will.
Good. That's very good news.
Well, Vern won't, but the boy's there now.
I remember seeing he died several years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, and the glass is still in most of these, but it's fragile. You got to realize how many years this stuff's been up here.
Yeah.
You know.
Got this chainsaw to see if somebody can get going. The chain's come apart on it.
Oh yeah.
That's what condition it's in. It's a Craftsman, so somebody should have fixed it. I think it's a series, I suppose. Well, we're going to try to go up to the attic.
Okay.
Is that the idea?
That's the idea.
Got to walk carefully here. This is the leftovers from rebuilding transmission in the Ford van. Get this thing out of the way.
Did he do that here in the shop?
Dale Ridge did it just the last month or so.
Yeah, it's kind of a tight squeeze.
Forward clutches were all worn out.
Yeah, that's usually what happens.
Turn the light on it.
Okay. We're now going upstairs.
Yep.
Over the garage.
Cooler up here than it would have been though, if I had these windows open.
Oh yeah.
Here we have the real junky stuff.
Yeah.
Some of this stuff though, somebody want these old mirrors, you know, things like that.
Yeah. Well, that antique man probably would love to
Air
have
conditioning cowling.
some of that. Old phonographs.
Gigantic guitar or something.
Things from the Horton house, I see.
Really?
Oh yes, many things.
God. Why didn't you just take that stuff to the dump?
I wish I had now. But he kept wanting everything he could get his hands on.
I wish he'd been a little more careful.
I wonder what this... Oh, it's just an empty... I was going to say, I wondered what that old film was. Yeah, this came from me. That was a pump for a swimming pool.
We got the old store shelving here out of the Sheridan IGA, just loaded to the gills with old equipment and parts of every sort. Old
tubes, parts,
yeah, equipment.
And equipment.
Here's a whole bunch of probably defunct fluorescent bulbs.
Transformers.
Here's something.
Battery getting weak, it says.
Here's an old, you can go down and plug in if you like, old weather system.
Yeah, there's an anemometer. I was trying to get one of those one time. I was going to put one up. See if I can get the rest of this filmed here before our battery runs completely out.
Here's Ken's old 2-meter transmitter.
Yep. More and more parts.
Yeah, and we go all the way down here to the end. The light on? Yeah, the light's on there.
That's odd.
These lights must be burned out or something.
Probably. Now this is the ham fest room, or the ham room.
Yep.
Where he kept all of these
here. Some old national
ham
receivers.
gear. Yep. He spent some time up here too.
This is his old 6-meter exciter, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Maybe it's a 2-meter. I don't know anymore. Old homebrew equipment from the 50s.
Frequency allocations. Yeah. Yep. This is the ham room. About wore out the chair.
It might have been wore out when he started. Now there's a good office chair.
I think I gave him that chair.
I didn't know this office chair was up here.
No, that's a good chair. It was. Yep.
Put back together.
Floor's getting kind of weak up here too.
Yeah, it always has been a little jiggly.
Has it?
The rafters, we're not designed to be load bearing.
No.
I imagine.
What I was thinking is all this stuff in here.
Right.
Good grief. Old car radios. Man, you might have to open something up to get all this out of here.
Well, it was all carried up.
Yeah, if you can do that.
It must be a damn job for somebody.
You probably have to hire some kids or somebody to start hauling it down.
Then
you know.
Think, well, I want to move it, but I know where to move it to.
Right. Well, you'd have to have an area where you moved it into that
Right.
That could be. Yeah, I see a lot of things I remember that I'm glad I didn't have anymore.
Well, you had good sense about them.
Well, he always had a lot of storage room, and he stored a lot of stuff down in the other two buildings.
Yep. Well, the one he got cleaned out.
Did he finally get one cleaned out? Maybe
It's hard to believe, but he actually has done cleanup around here regularly. You know?
Maybe he brought a lot of it out here.
Come and take old stuff off the iron pile out back that he never wanted anymore. But he hadn't done cleanup in oops, be careful. Quite a while.
There's his old steam engine he built.
That was built by Uncle Bert.
Uncle Bert?
That was the model that had to be made for a patent for some special innovation valve system.
Yeah, that's another thing. He had some special patents. Kenny did.
He had a couple of patents. Yeah, watch it there on your right. Yeah, you made it through there. I couldn't go up and straighten myself.
Yeah.
Had a couple of patents from the 40s. I'm going to go first.
Okay. Yeah, now this is the building behind the second.
Yeah, this is the pole barn.
This is the pole barn.
And this is the part of it that was insulated, used for a workshop.
And
So you could actually get, couldn't you? You could get a semi tractor in here through that door that height, couldn't you?
Yeah, you probably could. I don't know whether it's long enough.
Well, the other part would be.
Yeah, the other part
You
probably
can't get a
would.
trailer in this way. but
He
you
used
can
to
get a
have.
tractor in.
Yeah, he used to have tractors out in the other part.
Right. Yeah. We figured that all out.
Right.
This other part, the guy who's the son of his old childhood friend has rented the north end of this to store some stuff in that just needs to be stored out of the rain.
Oh, he just storing stuff there?
Yeah, he just rented for $30 a month, just a little dab in space, because he's got this stuff sitting outside with canvas on it now. He puts in audio and lighting systems and does contract work setting up audio systems. So he's got all these things like big horn speakers and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
To store.
Yeah.
But you could I think you might be able to get a semi-trailer
I believe you could in here,
you know?
yeah.
You have to use that door. And the problem is that in front of that door, you don't have gravel.
Right.
The gravel's in front of these doors.
Right.
But you could easily pull a tractor in through one of those.
Okay. Well, this is good to know. See, another thing, they can look at this videotape.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's also, I think in that stuff you got there may be a floor plan of the shop. I'm not sure there is or not, but they're really interested in the land, not the shop. The shop is stuff to scare off anybody.
You get an outside view here of everything. Yeah. That's a pretty good sized building.
Yep. The dimensions are in that stuff that you got.
Okay.
Built in the 40s to be storage for ear corn. And the hog lot was right here beside it. But if the storage areas for the ear corn on the flanks of up top there's old flooring, looks like.
Yeah. I believe you're right.
I thought there might be some old doors here. I need a basement door for my house.
Just slide a little here.
Yeah, we'll open that in a second.
Okay, let's look at this, see what's in
Don't
this.
have much of a view here.
No, this looks like old furnace pipe and stuff. Yeah, that's what that is.
That might come in handy.
It could be. You never. That's why Kenny kept everything. I don't know that you can get that open.
This shouldn't be open. I think I'll close
That's
it.
far enough. That's far enough.
The renters were using this space to work on their
Cars.
car. You could pull a rig in here, I think, and clear that.
I believe it'd fit in this
The question
one.
is whether it'd clear that door opening. But I think it would.
Yeah, a rig would probably fit in here, even if somebody wanted to do it.
There's an old lawnmower.
Yeah, there's a rider.
That's another one of those
Electrics.
electrics. Yeah. Not good for much.
Looks like they got a gasoline engine on it when they're trying to convert to
Partly converted.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's old window frames, but I need a door.
Is that what's in there?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind having one of these old electrics just to tinker with.
Well, I think it's probably all stripped. It's probably not going to have to work with it.
Well, I just, you know, tinker with the body, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make some kind of little thing out of it.
Well, I was thinking about maybe a little card for the kids, you know, a little card or something. So I may be interested in getting one of them off of you.
Fine. Well, we got some extras, as you can see.
I notice you do.
I don't know how completely nearly stripped they are.
Yeah. Yep.
That looks like a fairly solid table.
Yeah. Them were just electrics, weren't they?
Let's see what size door this is.
Find your door.
Yep.
Yeah, you got some stuff in there. Yeah, I was thinking about making like a kiddie car out of them. One or two of them. I might get a couple off of you. For the kids to play with. They were electric, weren't they? Yeah, that's a bush hog. I know he's got the blade to this assembly. There's a roller.
Tractor tire. Now, you know, there's something missing. Somebody took off with it because it was the one thing back here that was valuable. He's parted with, no doubt. He always would part with the valuable stuff and keep the junk.
What's
There
that?
used to be a slaughtering kettle
Oh, yeah?
back here. Oh, it's gone.
It looks like it's gone then.
Used to have 2 or 3 of them, and they're interesting enough to ordinary people that they've all taken off somewhere.
Yeah, well, I don't know what value some of this would be.
It
We're
was the pump
recording.
area here where Ken eventually made a kitchen. This was just the back porch when we first lived here and he first fixed it up. This is the old ham room.
And now this used to be photography too.
And then it was a dark room, that's right. I don't know if the power is on here.
Yeah, there you go.
We got all kinds of old cameras.
Yeah, this was the old
print
dark
tire,
room I remember when I
film
was...
cameras, motion picture cameras. It's really clammy in here now.
Oh, yes it is. Yep, I remember this.
I developed a lot of photographs in here once upon a time.
Yep. There's a camera collector I know of. I don't know whether he'd be interested in them or not.
Most of these are junk, unless he collects popular cameras.
He collects all kinds.
You let me know his name when you think of it. I'll write it down. So here we have the remains of Ken's cooking operation, on which lately mice have been dining mostly to look at the...
Well, I imagine, yeah.
And here we
the
have
old sink.
the crazy water distribution system. I don't know why it's
Yeah,
like it is.
it's
But
been here for years.
reflects the history of its creation.
Yeah.
How are you at repairing?
Sweat fittings?
Yeah.
Not worth anything.
I've got a plumber coming. That's where the pipes broke when Ken...
Oh, did they break?
Well, you can keep the pipes from freezing by leaving the lights on.
Yeah, that's the old kitchen area.
Yeah. Well, that's the latest kitchen area. The old kitchen area is actually here in the house.
I like that no exit over the crapper.
Well, he did that as an OSHA.
Yeah, there's another one of them heaters.
Yeah, another one of those. And here's his little sitting room. And his chair, which he well and truly wore out by sitting at it, from the looks of it. Wore a hole in the back of it.
I wonder if he recorded anything on his recorders. You need to find them.
He listened to old radio shows, particularly Lum and Abner.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
He's also got Amos and Andy.
So he did have some things there that...
Yeah, he bought recordings of old radio programs that he wanted to hear again. Here we have the area that was the kitchen when we first lived in this house. So it's got a sink in it, but it no longer has a range or anything like that.
Oh yeah? I'd like to get these photographs down here on this, because that's...
Okay.
Now this is the what? Now, didn't he used to display his televisions in here?
Yeah, that's all in his room. This is where the showroom was.
Yeah. I thought he did. I like that. Get it, help it get
Mechanical way to
started.
light the
Yeah, yeah.
jump starting.
Yeah, I remember, see, when I was working with him, he displayed televisions in here.
Right. And particularly in this room here on the side.
Right, where people could get to them
But
easy.
really in all these rooms he used all of them for display.
Yeah, he loaded her up now.
Right. This is all furniture out of Grandma's house.
Yeah. When you rented, you had to move it all out.
Well, we rented for a long time with her furniture in there. Some of it got damaged, unfortunately, though.
Oh, yeah?
Like that. Let me see here if I'm clever.
What are you going for?
I'm trying to turn on these other lights.
Oh, that's enough. It's picking it up. Yeah. It's picking it up, believe it or not.
Oh, that's a dimmer switch. How about that?
Oh, yeah? Yeah, here's old stuff in the front. Here's these old radios.
Yeah, there's some of them there and some of them in the old shop.
I'll get some of these down too.
Some of these, the radios there on the right, these sort of models from the 30s and 40s and 50s are
Right.
really interesting looking. I think with those plastic cases, it's like streamlined look.
Right, he had a large, extensive collection of radios. There's a saxophone. Old piano. The room's really loaded.
Yep. You know, it's a family room is a basic layout.
Yeah.
Though there's a drawback in that this could be the entry door here. You normally wouldn't have an entry door that went straight into the family room.
Right.
The layout's weird. It was originally the garage.
Yeah, and I think he designed it more or less for a display.
Right. Well, it's been rehabbed from various uses. It was originally a garage, then it was a family room, then he made it into his...
Now this is the upstairs room. Coming upstairs in the old house at the shop. There's a little door there going into something.
Yep, that's attic.
That's the attic. Okay. And this is sort of a bedroom upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder what that paneling is.
It's just cheap wood paneling.
It's regular paneling.
Plaster.
Wood. Yeah.
Just plaster walls underneath.
Plaster walls underneath. In this room, this is the other bedroom, I assume, upstairs.
Yeah,
but
it's mostly got stuff stored in it.
Yeah, been converted for storage and.
Got another one of those handy all-purpose workbench and shelf outfits.
Yep. Now this first platoon picture here, he's in there, Kenny Nightenhauser.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has old memorabilia like that scattered all through this place. This is a bunch of old photographs. in big frames. Hang it up here.
Yep. This is funny.
What's that?
Some of these faces here hanging here.
Yeah, that's something my sister Karen made.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
That's unusual.
It's a mobile. There we all are.
Is that you guys?
Yeah, that's us. My sister Karen. She's got herself with little
Yeah.
brown eyes, and my sister Donna, who's looking kind of goofy here.
Yeah, I seen it, Donna.
Come on, Dawn, turn around here.
She's turned around right now.
There
Yeah.
she is. And you see, here's Ken on top,
Uh-huh.
and then Ruth, and I'm on the bottom there.
Yep.
Something
That's
Karen
pretty
made
good.
way back when.
Yeah. Well, this is like his personal room, more or less, you might say. Right?
Yeah.
This looks like a picture of all you kids, and then here's his wife, Ruth. Yeah. And his diploma. Butler University. Yep. Now, are these pictures here anybody special?
I don't know who they are. Karen might be able to identify them. I think that one there under the light might be my grandmother's brother Lester, who died when he was a child.
Uh-huh.
The rest of them, I don't know. The guy there on the east wall could be Dan Mills.
Okay.
Oh, I know, but I don't know much, I'll tell you.
Yeah, well, I just wondering if, because it don't say anything on the pictures. Huh. Well, that's strange.
Now, who's the guy you know that's interested in cameras?
He just retired from Delco not too long ago. Let me see here. Oh. And this old rig here used to work.
Yeah, it probably would still work. It's
Yeah.
pretty simple. It's a wood stove made from an old 250-gallon oil drum with an oil burner for an exciter. And it's got a row of bricks hung along there as a heat sink. And apparently what's happened here is the roof's been leaking because the eaves have blocked.
Yeah.
And then all the other things started to fall apart from the moisture, like this door's falling apart because it just got.
Yeah, it's just finally had enough, hadn't it?
Yep.
Okay.
Would not hold water.
Yeah, now there used to be a lot of TVs stored in this breezeway here.
Thank God we got rid of those.
Yeah.
Last summer we had a guy, sort of hopeful young guy, carry out 90 old junk TVs he was going to patch up. I don't know what we were going to do with them if he hadn't taken them.
I don't know what he'd want with them, but
Well,
I know some of them I had brought out here to get rid of.
No.
Because Kenny said for me not to throw any of them away.
I think what Ken really wanted in life was to operate a transfer station, except he didn't want to have anything go out.
And now going into the old TV shop.
Transfer station. Here's the old TV shop. We can flip the lights on in here too.
Okay, there's another piano. A lot of pianos. There's a Victrola. I used to have one of them a long time ago.
Yeah, it's not broken, unfortunately. It was in great condition, working condition.
That's a real antique.
And then somebody, remember the furniture that was that we left in my grandma's house when people were renting it? The renter moved the damn thing and broke it.
No kidding?
Yeah. Too bad.
Here's some more of his abstract work. Yeah. Now this is Karen's. And this is some more abstract works. Well, look at that one.
That one he got started on and never finished, I think.
The man was good at this stuff. He loved to do it, I know. He really got a kick out of it. Yep, this is the shop. I remember it well. It used to be loaded with televisions, stereos.
Used to be busy.
Busy.
Working in here.
Yep.
In and out, bring stuff.
All the time.
20 years ago.
Yeah, I know. But I remember a lot of it. Yeah, books, books, and more books. He loved books. Wanted all the books he could get. You remember?
Yeah. That's something that I caught from him, I'll tell you. I hang on to books more than I should, too.
Well, I think all of us do to a certain extent.
It's a lot less expensive to keep a book than a dog.
There's a lot of nice old records.
Yeah.
I remember a lot of these.
Are some of yours?
No, they're just in my era.
Oh.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
More of his abstract works. The unfinished painting here. Never even got started on that one. Yeah, this was the working part of the shop where he kept the parts. And he still got old radios and stereos and boxes and boxes of stuff down here. Yeah, there's another piece I give him. 2 pieces there.
Yeah, a lot of those electronic instruments came from Delta, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, some of them. Yep, I remember this. Has the floor caved in over here?
Yeah, there's been a leak there for a long time around the flue. The floor's sunk. I don't know the reason. I haven't looked too close.
Right under the Sam's photos.
Right. That's where all those file cabinets are. But the cause of it was water kept coming in through the... After they built the building, they had a little leak around the flue.
Yeah.
They were able to stop it.
Yeah, there's all the books for the different recorders, Sam's Photo Fact books, auto, radios, all kinds of things like that up there.
We've got to get a picture here of the cameraman.
Oh.
You get a picture of the cameraman, don't we? Have I got you tilted right?
No, I got you, but...
There.
Yeah, you're getting there a little further.
How's that?
Yeah, there I am. That's me.
You've got a post right up through your head here.
I'm taking the picture, so there's just hardly any room in the shop to get around. Yeah, I'm in there.
All right, now that's good. That's good. Did you get a picture of one of the teaching machines?
Oh, there was one in there in the other section.
These are all bases that were made for those teaching machines.
Yeah, now I was involved in that with him.
Yeah.
I helped him try to build them up. You remember? There's a stand to one of them back here.
Right. There's 2 or 3 of them sitting here behind the hot tub. He's still got 3 or 4 of them left. He sold a lot of them finally.
These are the parts, all down this side.
Yeah. Now if you go far enough there to your left, you'll find the parts that have the raccoon shit on them.
Yeah, I imagine.
I don't think Ken would ever build anything, you know, if it wasn't for the availability of inexpensive floor jacks like this. Everything he builds has got one of these in the middle of it.
Yeah, to hold things up. Yeah, I see. They've gotten into the parts a little bit.
Yeah, they're coming through the roof right there. I've got the hope that one of them will come in here and decide he wants to try the sardines in this can. So far, it ain't happened.
Oh, you've made
this thing set up.
You've made a trap for them.
This trap for my landlord.
Yeah, they're probably smarter than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when this was fully stocked with parts of all kinds.
Yeah, this was where we had all of the modules.
Yeah.
Really expensive parts. Well, this is interesting. Huh. We actually need some of these.
Yeah, those are connectors.
Yeah, the guy in Goldsmith could use these.
Well, you better scarf onto some of that.
Yeah.
Down there it says TV service. Believe it or not. But that's what it was. Yeah, there's one of the old RCA meters. I got him some of those.
Yeah. One of the things I'm so interested in saving out of here is some of the old caddies. I got one in my car now.
Yeah, I've still got mine.
They're really nifty, I think.
Yeah, this was the office area.
Now it's mostly got old photographs and memorabilia stored in it, plus a lot of building material. It just should be recycled.
Yeah.
He sure did build the shelves, didn't he?
He liked
Built
shelves.
a lot of shelves.
Well, he needed them in a sense, you know. Well, yeah, the caddies.
All right, here's. Oh, this is an old laundry mailer, an official laundry mailer.
Oh yeah.
It was return label to the Reliable Electric Company.
Wait a minute.
My father used to send his laundry back from Dayton for his mother to do here in rural Indiana.
No kidding?
Because you could mail it, have her do it cheaper than you can get it done in Dayton if you wouldn't do it yourself. And here's a nice old caddy. I got to get this one cleaned up for my own use, I think. This is the deluxe model.
Yeah, that was the good one.
This is the kind you want.
Yeah, yeah.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Carry an awful lot of stuff in there. I suppose nowadays the equivalent of this is a metal box like you'd use for a tackle box.
Right. Now, see, that was a worker's caddy. In other words, you took your tools in that.
Yep.
The one I had was called a tube caddy.
Right. They're big and flimsy. All them big bulky tube boxes.
Yeah.
There's some of those around here also. Here's Grandma's piano.
That was your grandma's piano?
Yeah. Jesse French.
Who?
Jesse French was the brand, made in Newcastle.
Well, I'll be doggone.
Her father went and got it for her when she was a girl. They went over and picked it up in the truck and brought it back to the factory. And the guy, Biggin, who's interested in the shop as a place to live in, his mother or grandmother worked for this company.
Oh, yeah?
So he's interested in the piano because it's a Jesse French.
Well, that's all right. It's a regular antique, you know.
Well, a lot of antique pianos are junk.
Well, that's true,
As
but...
pianos, they're not much good. The wood case on it's kind of interesting. You go with sort of this rough finish. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be rough, but it turns out rough.
What's that, an organ?
Yeah, it's some kind of old, I think it probably is a tube type organ. I don't really know. Haven't looked that close.
Radio technician. His license.
Yep. Indiana
Dealer's license. Yeah.
That's about the end of the tour, I think.
I think we're about there. We've just about hit it all, I believe. For sale list. Jet engine. Complete.
I made that up for him.
Did you?
He must have sold that hay baler.
And the wire feed welder.
That's something the guy remembered.
How did he use these teaching machines?
For a long time he rented them.
I know he rented them out to different schools.
And that was when I was in college. They pretty much paid my cost of college.
Oh yeah?
Because if you looked at what they were, he had about a dozen of them rented.
Yeah, I know he did.
Well, I can't find the combination of cards I want. Let's see. 31, 36, 42. Okay, I can almost find room. There's 31 and 36. Now, if I can find a 42, I'll have it. I thought I saw a 42. Here it is. Okay. 28, 36, 31, 42.
Yeah, we had several of them in here at one time.
Yeah, he had like a dozen of them rented to local schools.
You sure it's gonna work?
Turn the answer on here. Five times 7, 35.
Yep. 4 times 3, 12. 7 times 7.
I guess I went to the slow speed. I don't know what the speed control means here.
49. Yeah, that's it. That's the way it works.
Reset. Now we also can go to manual.
Uh-huh. Yep. Amazing, isn't it?
If you get tired of them jumping around like that, you can take them in order.
Yep, that's his teaching machines. Good enough. Yeah, I remember those well.
All made out of, I mean, this is really craftsman made. I mean, it's made out of wood
Uh-huh.
and just generic metal parts.
And in the
Made one at a time
stands.
by hand.
And he
Stands.
made all the stands too.
Yep, stands too.
There's his old red count wind speed indicator thing. Yeah. Okay, we got it.